Bonjour Thank you so much for watching the part 1 of our podcast with Chandra. I hope it was helpful and I'm so glad for all of your comments. Similarly, now let's look at the part 2, which is equally super helpful because he has now in this part talked about how you should carve your journey for TCF. And if you have any question, please put it in the comment and we'll be super happy to help you all. And besides this, we have other more podcasts coming in, other videos coming in. So please do subscribe to our channel and we are super excited to help you all. Stay tuned and let's get on to the part 2 of the video now. I want to come back to your TCF journey because that's something which I wanted to understand that what sort of specific tools or maybe resources that you will recommend as a coach also people to
Mm.
follow from the beginner level so that they can cut the crap. Because as you
Correct.
know, when you say people get lost in the world of maybe this that and maybe they want to join this community, that community, this group, that group, and it absorb as much because it gets so overwhelming. So what will you suggest how they can cut the crap? What is it something that they must be doing, should be doing from the beginner, as a beginner?
Correct. Okay, I'll go module wise.
Yes,
First,
please.
listening. For listening,
Yes.
you have two very great resources which everyone should be doing: RFE, TV Sankmon. TV Sankmon is obviously the official TCF partner, and TEF
Yeah.
partner is RFE, but both you should be doing. And because they
Mm.
have exercises right from A1 to B2 level, so you can
Yeah.
start this at an A1 level itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Reading,
Noted.
yeah, reading ideally at an A1 level, just edit to A1 is fine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When you come
Yeah.
to A2, then at that time you can start reading certain newspapers and certain journals. So these are some
Mm.
online websites which are, like Azura to, right? This is
Azure and we actually.
children's website on
Mm. Mm.
encyclopedia and the children's news and all.
Mm.
Certain websites like, see, what I try to do is that, I make my students try to be as engaged in French as possible. So if you are
Mm.
ordering on Swiggy and Zomato in India, start
Mm.
ordering in French on, what was it, DoorDash. Yeah.
DoorDash, yeah, DoorDash, Uber delivery,
If you are
DoorDash, yeah, all of that, yeah.
if you're reading about movies and if you're booking events on Book My Show, there
Mm.
is a website in Paris called Caffaire à Paris. Then there's Caffaire.
Mm.
Okay, so start exploring
Mm.
these websites at an A2 level. And when you come to
Mm.
B1, B2, of course, for reading, listening, already all these things are there. Then start looking
Mm.
at high level texts like Le Monde,
Mm.
Le Figaro, and
Mm.
all these beautiful
Parisian. Mm.
papers are there.
Mm.
You can
Mm.
start doing them. And
Mm.
writing and speaking actually starts in your class only, right? So
Mm.
whatever your teacher is doing, you
Mm.
should obviously write and show samples to your teacher, speak with your teacher. But what is very important is that, of course, while you are listening,
Mm.
right, when you're passive listening on podcasts and all that, there are some YouTube
Mm.
channels which separately share, so that help
Mm.
retain and form opinions also, like Seju sur
Mm.
la plan, right? That is
Mm.
there.
Mm. Mm.
All your France 24 and all these
Mm.
newspaper news channels and all, they also help you form opinions. But
Yeah.
most important, which was very important for me, was I took 2 months just to go through all the past topics,
Mm. Mm.
be it
That's a
writing,
super important tip. Yeah.
be it
Yeah.
writing, be it
Yeah.
speaking. I took 2 months just to go through every question that has come in the question paper in the past 4 5 months, be it a monologue in
So,
speaking.
Chandra, but you took 2 months. Now, unfortunately, in Canada, we do not have as much time, right? So you had your own sweet time because, of course, as you rightly said, you were in India and you did not have a pressure of getting the work permit expired. Now, in Canada, the situation, as you know, is extremely different, and we people have a pressure. So, how would you strategize this? Like, if they don't have as much time, how they can shorten their journey.
Quickly.
ask us.
Because that's the next word which I get to hear, ma'am. Quickly.
Yeah.
ASAP.
So in that case, then we are the best people to approach because we have just compiled like this, PDF.
Everything.
Have the question papers or rather the topics of the past 4 5 months sorted according
Yeah.
to different categories or genres of questions, right? So
So
let's say,
I want to take a pause here, guys, because I also want to tell you what Chandra just said is not a sales pitch, but yes, that's true because he has curated everything so immensely and excellently amazingly way that we have already compiled everything his 2 months of hard work in a small presentation format so that all of you saves your time, and he has done it so beautifully for the writing most common topics, for the speaking most common topics, so that when you join us as a student you save your time because we have done that hard work already for you. And last but not the least, whatever links he just mentioned, the resources that he mentioned just now, we will drop the links here in the podcast because he has again compiled a list of that as well. Another important thing, sorry, I must tell you all of that. He does take the reading listening sessions of students every weekend. And I do get an immense feedback from them because he tries to share different perspectives that how to find the right answers. So if you would be interested in that one, then please comment, or maybe you can have a chat with me. You can WhatsApp me because I can also onboard you in that cohort, and you can definitely take the advantage of that because you might be learning from somewhere, which is absolutely fine. Continue learning, but maybe you can just take reading listening sessions from us. So that would help you a lot. And last, please hit the subscribe button because if you do subscribe our channel, you get to see lots and lots of latest updates. Sorry, Chandra, over to you.
worries. I was just saying that only that
Yeah.
I have, we have compiled this project.
Yes.
And one of the beautiful things about is this, see, you have to think how the exam works. Let's
Yes.
say you have prepared
Yes.
about this, uh,
Yeah.
the benefits of internet. Okay.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
prepared some content, let's say about 200 words on a topic, the benefits of internet. You will give,
Yeah.
benefits of internet. Let's say
Yeah.
we can communicate with our friends and peers and all
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Mm.
Application to use and all that. Now, the examiner might ask you the benefits of internet. He or she might ask you why smartphones are necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
Why television is necessary in today's world. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So you have, if you prepare one generic topic well, the
Mm.
branches that can come out of it are many, 4 5. So you are basically, if
Yes.
you use one generic topic, you have covered 4 5 exam topics together.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is one
Yeah.
of the things that you have to identify. And this is
Right.
the trick. People feel that, oh, 4 5 months, hundreds of topics have come. How are we going to do all this? All that is not there because the ultimate, it's like a tree. Everything goes back to the
Mm.
same trunk. Okay, you have different roots and all, but everything goes back to the
Mm.
same. The generic thing remains almost the same.
Mm.
We
Is
have done. We have,
same. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have, you
Yes,
know,
and that is why I think Chandra, it is possible to actually to clear months and how clear exam in how many months? How many months it can take according to you? And tell me very honestly, CLB7 as a beginner. If I'm starting my journey today, how many months I would take if I learn from our institute, learn French with Ags, or you particularly in our panel, how much time would you give? Or a
if you
student might
start
take?
as like a proper beginner,
Mm,
uh, see, I'll tell you two things. Okay, if you
yeah.
start as a proper beginner with us and
Yeah.
our
With an open mindset, our
with an open
methodology.
mindset, yeah, with an
Our
open mindset
methodology.
and our methodology and everything, hear my words carefully. Okay? You will be ready to give the examination in 8 months. Okay, seven
Agreed.
to eight, you will be ready to take the examination, to sit the
Yes.
examination. Whether
Yes.
you pass or not, okay, this
Yeah.
will
In
again
all four
depend on,
modules. In all four
yeah,
modules.
in all four modules. In
Yeah.
whether you pass or not will have a little bit of a luck component. Okay, what sort
Yes.
of examiner is coming in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Is he troubling you too much with your QA, or is he troubling you too much with your monologue, right? Uh,
Yes.
is the reading, I mean, reading, listening is not that much of difficulty, but have you
Mm.
important, like, have you considered those modules important and have you practiced them daily? So you will
Well,
be ready
hmm.
to the examination in 7 to 8 months, but whether you clear or not is a question which can happen in 12 months, okay, 10 months, 12 months.
Or
That
even
is,
after 1 year. That can happen even after 1 year as well. Yes, yes, yes. And what is the
that is
second
the
thing that you wanted to say?
variable. That is the variable point. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to convey.
Convey. Okay. So when I want to come back to TCF once again. Sorry about that because I wanted to ask you about the TCF speaking part. When you said monologue, 4 and 4.5 minutes, do the examiners interrupt us and do they have the debate or do they ask us a question or something?
I was not interrupted in my monologue. It's
Yeah.
completely left to me. She gave me the
Wow.
topic, and then I was just left alone. So I just kept on speaking. Uh,
Yeah.
so
And after you terminated, there was a follow-up question to that or no?
nothing.
Done.
She
Oh,
just didn't interrupt me. She said that like the time is about to end, close it quickly. So that is
they
the
were one
only
examiner, two examiner,
one examiner.
one examiner, and she was listening, taking notes.
Right. This is like Delph B2, right? For the
B2.
first minutes, you are just speaking. So that this
Yeah.
is the same. This was the same for me. However, I
Yeah.
have stories from other students that they were
Yeah.
interrupted in their uh,
Yes. Yes.
session.
Yes.
So I think
In
Muskan
fact,
was
Muskan
interrupted.
was also interrupted multiple times. Yes,
So
to
I think
gauge
this,
her center
yeah,
based.
this is a like center to center thing.
Yeah.
I don't, depends on the invigilator also. I don't think there's a
Mm.
particular to it, but I don't think they interrupt more than twice or thrice.
Yeah, because ultimately it's a monologue.
Yeah,
And
it's a monologue.
so now there's one important aspect to this whole journey of French, and people are learning French and they are doing great. But again, Chandra, I know you must have gone through this because I also went through the same bit. When we do all this, it gets frustrating at times because we do not know when this will happen. This might happen or not happen. Luck component can play any factor anyway, right? I might not score anything on what we play that game, Tambola. I have never won in Tambola, whether I would ever won in TEF, TCF. So that gets anyone a lot of self doubts. In fact, today only this morning I had a chat with one of the students, and she said, "Ma'am, I am doing my best, but I do not know. It seems like a long journey. I am getting lots of self doubts." Did you
Hmm.
also have a lot of self doubts? And if yes, how did you overcome? What message would you give to everybody that they can overcome such frustrations?
No, no, self-doubts are already there. Like, see, you come from a good background, you have studied, you have cleared all your examinations, be it university examinations and all that so far. You have
Yeah,
enjoyed success in life, and you feel that, now you're trying to learn something and it is not happening,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously, you try and question yourself, like, am I doing
Yes,
something wrong, or is there something lacking in me and all that?
yeah,
So
yeah.
questions definitely. Okay, this is much natural. That is the human
Mm,
way of.
yeah, thinking. Yeah,
You have to think of this when you
yeah,
started learning English. Okay, now all of us are
yeah,
convening speaking in English. We are people from the anglophone part of the world, so we are speaking English very well. Why? Because 20, 25 years, 30 years we have spent
mm,
speaking English,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
12 years of schooling and then college
yeah.
and then all things. So English was an integral part of our lives. So
Mm,
you are achieving in 10, 12 months with French is a colossal deal. Okay, trust me,
mm, mm,
language learning is difficult. Okay, like even if
mm,
let's say a CLB5 or a CLB6 in let's say 8 months or 10 months, it is a huge deal. Okay, you have to
mm.
clap for yourself. It is a huge deal. Like,
Yeah.
this will always be there. Like, you might question that
Mm,
I'm doing something wrong, but you have learned a very important skill, which, I
mm,
mean, it's not just a skill for your PR, right? If you tomorrow you want to
mm,
shift to Europe and work for a French company, right? You
mm,
can show or you can build on this competence. So don't think
mm,
of this that, this is only for immigration purpose.
mm,
Obviously, that is the main goal. But this is a skill that you have developed, which you can use for your employment in other sectors also. First one
mm,
was a race for me because in the middle of things I sometimes thought that okay, let's not go to Canada, let's try and see if I can get a job in Europe. I
mm,
had
mm.
that as a backup plan.
Planning.
Okay,
Mm.
if this thing did not
Mm.
come up. And
Turns out,
uh,
yeah.
second is that so you're learning this. It's a but let's say if you get a CLB5, you don't get
Mm,
CLB5 in all four modules. You
mm,
might
mm.
have missed out because of one or two.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in the next attempt, you have to
Mm,
sharpen or give a little bit more push in that particular module.
mm.
So
Right.
you don't think that I am gone just
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
not
because one
marks
module
in
is
one
done. Yeah.
particular. Your
Yeah.
other module perfect, which means that you are up to mark. So now you have to put a little bit of extra effort in that fourth, in
Yeah.
that modules only. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
also something which helped me really to bring me out of that stress or depression or whatever you want to call it. So that was also
Yeah.
very important thing. And of course, the
Yeah.
third is take it as a language learning journey. Okay,
Hmm.
do what you love in French. You like to watch movies, you read movie critics, watch movies and read critical reviews of movies. You like to
Hmm.
read books
Hmm.
on short stories in French and all. Try to
Hmm.
keep it as uh, important or as close to your interest as possible. So I know
Hmm.
people who are recent mothers and they started watching or books on how to prepare meals for children or how to take care of
Hmm.
their children
Hmm.
in French,
Hmm.
reading
In
all that
French,
stuff.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
So whatever you're doing in your daily life or whatever interests you, just
Hmm.
try and do those things, and that will
Hmm.
take you farther than, let's say, just getting
Hmm.
grammar books or exercise books.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, do not just confine yourself to grammar because Steph is beyond grammar. And last but not the least, Chandra, so I also want to know that how do you and what do you do differently in your one-on-one classes? Because I also get a lot of questions and queries from students who've been learning in big cohort, big bunch of students, and they don't get enough attention paid. So what exactly you do different from others that they should be learning from us, they should be learning with you as on one-on-one. So what would be your take on this?
Sure. So, see, in the first session, whoever has a first session with me, I make them very clear that on the end day, when you sit your examination, this is what is expected of you. So,
Mm,
either if he is giving TEF or if he is giving TCF, in the first session, I give the paper pattern. This is what going to
mm,
come in examination. The
mm,
rest of the journey, whatever classes I take, everything is
mm.
geared towards this. Okay,
Mm,
if I'm
mm,
teaching you a particular grammar topic, it is because you
mm.
can use that grammar topic in your
In this
writing or
particular speaking or writing, yeah.
if I'm teaching you gerundive, if I'm teaching you C clause, it is because you can use your C clause in your writing and get some brownie
As
points.
brownie points, yeah,
Your
yeah,
C clause in speaking, present plus present, right? C plus present plus present. You can use it in
yeah,
speaking and get some brownie points, right? If
yeah.
I'm giving you certain subjunctive expressions, it is because you can start using them in your
Mm,
speaking and writing. Okay, so from
yes, yeah.
day one, everything is geared towards some way or the other, it is going to help you in your examinations. In A2 itself, I start asking my students to form opinions. Okay, not at
Mm,
of course, TEF, TCF level.
mm, mm,
Start giving them that these are the kind of things you will have to make
yeah,
opinion on. Start thinking on these things. Okay, even if
got
you
it.
may not make a perfect opinion, but you should have an opinion on it. Okay,
Opinion on it. Yeah.
don't just read like like my examples are not right. Ram has a cat, or the cat is inside the house, and Sham has this and that. So are not there. Okay, whatever examples I make, it will have something to do with one of the topics which come in the exam. So like
Exams, yeah.
some
So
from environment,
typically an
materialism, and all those.
exam oriented approach. So that
Um,
is there. And that is of course wonderful, Chandra. Not that I want to boast our own methodology which we have created, but yes, that is true. Because when I hear people out and then they come from a were very different confused mindset. I learned this, and then I asked like, why did you learn this? That was not that doesn't even come in the exam. They said this is what
right.
I was taught. Maybe because there is a lot of confusion in the market. But again, I would also say one more point here, Chandra, because you have experienced this pain, this journey. So I think the
Mhm.
other two aspects which you also share with your students is first is your own experience, because you add a flavor of that experience. This happens and that doesn't happen, which helps them to overcome their confusions. And last but not the least, I think you also motivate them a lot, like the way you're doing now to the whole world, because that little dose of motivation helps a lot, because language is a boring process. It's not fun. It's not fun. I tell them it's not going to be it's not going to be fun. You're going to be like falling in love with the language of romance. No, you're gonna hate it. Like, and till the time she passed the exam, she used to keep telling me, I hate French, I hate French, I hate French. So
Right.
that's normal, right? So I think little dose of motivation is something that you always add. And that's why I always get to hear from your students that I only want Chandra sir, please. I do not want any other coach now. So that is, I think you're doing a commendable job as well, which I really definitely want to highlight to the world. Right. So
Thank
I now let you take the stage over for anything closure you want to say, you want to give a message or an advice to the bunch of people who are struggling a lot today, must be learning from the right places, wrong places, but at the end they are learning. So they are learning and we need to help them. So that's what this channel is for. So what would be your piece of advice or a message to the world?
Got it. One closing point or opinion from my end. Of course, we have
Yes, please.
said a lot of things, but one thing I forgot to ask, forgot to tell, is
Mm,
that in this exam, right, vocab is your king, okay, not grammar.
mm,
Content
mm,
is king. Now, see,
mm,
people sometimes now see comprehensive, accurate, comprehensive, oral are fine. You're going to get
mm,
MCQs and you're going to answer
mm,
them, so that is okay. But when it
mm.
comes to expression, okay,
Speaking.
writing yourself
Mm,
or speaking yourself, right
mm,
now, people fear these two modules because of two reasons. First, they think that
mm,
okay, my grammar was wrong, my pronunciation is wrong, and all those things. Now that is there. One part is there. Okay, I agree. The second part is they fear it because they don't have enough material to speak or enough
mm,
material to write. Now, if you have the content with you, then obviously you will speak, right? If tomorrow,
mm,
say you love football, and I ask you,
mm,
tell me something about
mm,
your favorite football player, then obviously you
mm.
will tell me a whole paragraph because you have been following that stuff, and that is your prime interest, right? So,
Yeah.
content is always the king in these examinations. If there is
Mm,
something which you know and which you can convey,
mm,
have that idea in your head already, then you will be able
mm.
to. Grammar,
Got it.
yes. Pronunciation, yes. Okay. But if the content itself is not there, then automatically you will feel nervous and then you will fumble. Okay. So
Yeah.
content is not there, then always you will make mistakes. And the best part about content
Yeah.
in a language learning process is that
Yeah.
you don't have to make something on your own, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to be a Shakespeare of French, or like you have to bring out some
Yeah.
weird point or some very unique point to
Yeah.
the
To
game,
the
right? No, not
yeah.
the case. So many writers and journalists and all those people are writing on a day-to-day basis in French. You have to learn from them. You have to use French in the way it is being utilized in a normal way by French
Yeah.
speakers in the world.
Yeah.
You don't have to make your own unique French. So
Yeah.
resources are already out there. Just use
Yeah.
them. This is the
Yes.
best
Just
advice I
use
could
them. Yeah.
share with you, that content is important more than probably, because see, if you read, let's say you read an opinion in Le Monde, okay,
Yeah.
now if you are able to paraphrase it, you
Yeah.
will put it, you will give a good argument, and plus you will also give it in correct grammar way only, because whatever that those guys have written, that will also be correct grammar only, right? They are
Right.
not
Right. Right.
grammar there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is one of the
So
most important.
basically, to recap, it is all about vocabulary and the content, and of course, with the right approach, attitude, and have lots and lots of motivation within yourself, guys, because it's all about study, self effort, consistency. Because rest all is secondary. You will only learn if you want to learn. I know French is somehow forced. It is not something that you want to do. It is not something you willingly to willingly to do, but
Yeah.
this is something you will have to do. So if it you have to do, then let's just do it. And on that note, we
Yeah, right.
close our yeah, and on that note, definitely we close our podcast today. And we are very happy to have you, Chandra, today. And thank you so much for sharing this wonderful message and all sorts of tips and tricks. For the people who wants to take classes from him, you can please contact me. We are very happy to help you all. And definitely for the ones who wants to take just reading and listening as well during the weekend, he's already sharing his tips and tricks over the period of time, and he'll be very happy to do all of that for you as well. On that note, au revoir.
Thank you so much, Ankita. We
Thank
all
you so much. Merci.